Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sarel van Grenen, and I am excited to be here and do this video with you. Now, most of you also know me as Mr. VG. So, in this video, it is arguably one of the most important videos in terms of your future in mathematics, okay? Because these are the kind of questions that you can definitely 100% expect in grade 11 or 12. Now, we brought it into our grade 11 curriculum simply because it's actually grade 10 work, but it's asked a lot in grade 11 and 12. This is now where we're going to mix algebra and equations, okay? So I would like you to go and try these questions through yourself. So hit the pause button, try it, and then come back and watch the rest of the video. So when we look at question 3a, it says there you are given a specific expression. And they're asking you in A1, where is m of x equal to 0? Now here you've got to think, and kind of this is where the algebra and the numbering system knowledge you need to come into play. When is something divided by something else equal to 0? Well, when I have a 0 at the top, like I wrote there in red. So in other words, we are actually saying the numerator must be 0. So the root of 3 minus 2x must be 0. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, inside the root must actually be 0. So what we are actually only asking you to solve is 3 minus 2x equal to 0. Wow, that's the actual question, okay? So let me just recap. To get this equal to 0, your numerator must also be 0. And to get the root of 0, the only way is getting inside the root equal to 0. Therefore, I'm just going to solve that with a normal linear equation. So x must be 3 over 2. Boom, that's why it's only 2 marks. The A2 question now comes from being undefined. Where is m of x undefined? Now here is something, a very important little word, undefined. Now when we talk about undefined, it means goes against the definition. Okay, now what is the most basic definition we have in mathematics? And you've learned this since primary school, is that you are never allowed to divide by 0. So in other words, your denominator, when that is 0, it is undefined. It doesn't exist. There's no expression if your denominator is equal to 0. So in other words, whenever x squared minus 3x minus 10 is equal to 0, m of x will be undefined. This leads me to now say, what kind of an equation is this? It is quadratic. It's already equal to 0, so I must just factorize, get equal to 0, solve for x. So either x is 5 or x is negative 2. Ladies and gents, it's only 3 marks. You've answered the question. That was it, as simple and as easy as that. Please remember that for grade 11 and 12. Whenever we ask you for undefined, it's dividing by 0. Now, I'm not going to tell you it's the only place we have undefined in the maths world. Not at all. Not at all. But it is definitely one of the biggest places we look for being undefined. Okay? Now, let's look at question B. Oh, I loved question B. Now, this is the kind of question, especially B1, that a lot of teachers will ask you. Okay, they love to ask this. To write the following in terms of M. In other words, your answers must have just numbers and M's in it. You can't have more X's and Y's in it. Okay? So my first initial thought is, if I look at X plus Y squared, I need to square out those brackets. But remember that means X plus Y times by X plus Y, the number times by itself, which then, if I multiply that out, gives me X squared plus 2XY plus Y squared. Okay? Remember, you are foiling or you are distributing. However you want to say it, you are multiplying those brackets out and adding the like terms. Now, this is beautiful because I already have then the value of X squared plus Y squared. And I also have a value for XY in terms of M. So in other words, I'm sitting with 12 plus 2M. Why again? Because X squared plus Y squared is 12. And XY is M. So my answer in terms of M is 12 plus 2M. As simple and as easy as that. Now the second one. Oh my goodness, I love this question, okay? Because when I look at X cubed plus Y cubed, okay, I've got a bit of a problem. What is your thoughts? Let me ask you this. If you look at this, where does your thoughts go? Now, when I look at this, I'm thinking about one thing. It's the only factorization you did in grade 10. Only in grade 10. And that is cubic factorization. Okay, now I'm an examiner, been an examiner for a number of years, and I love this. You pick topics that you know was asked only in that, and that's kind of where you focus. So if I look at X cubed plus Y cubed, I'm going to think about factorization because I've learned to factorize this in grade 10. So first of all, the cube root of X cubed and Y cubed. Then your back bracket, squaring that first X and squaring the Y. Okay? Now the middle term, X times by Y, and change the plus to a minus. Okay? Now, ladies and gents, okay, here is where life becomes interesting because the back bracket is the least of my worries. Okay? Because I already have a value for X squared, and I've got a value, or X squared plus Y squared, remember that is 12. And I've got a value for XY, that is just M. But now, what the heck do I do with that X plus Y? Oh my head. How do I get that in terms of M? But wait. Didn't I do B1 already? Yes. Look, remember, when we did B1, I told you that X plus Y squared is equal to 12 plus 2M. So maybe I can actually just get a square root on both sides. Okay, let me just write this nicer. I took a square root on both sides, and I've got X plus Y equal to plus or minus the root of 12 plus 2M. Now, why do I say plus or minus? Well, it's because it is a square. So the answer in that, remember when you take your own square root, the answer is plus or minus. So therefore, I can replace that front bracket with plus or minus 12 plus 2M. And then I have my answer in terms of m. So I've got x cubed plus y cubed with just numbers and m's in it. Oh, that was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so this was a typical level 4 type question. Okay, this whole question B was level 4, lack of insight. Okay, so it's all about making a plan. But also, there's another little concept that you must never ever forget, which is, what did I do in the previous question? So what did I do in B1? Because that might just lead me towards B2. So this is Mr. VG signing out. And in our next video, we are going to also look at some beautiful theory kind of questions. Theory that comes part of, algebra, paper 1, conceptual questions that you need to be able to answer. So please tune into our next video, which I promise will be a shorter one as well. So keep well. Cheers.